Hello students, it's lovely to see you all. My name is Miss White and I will be your substitute teacher today. Unfortunately, Mr. Shipman is not very well today, so he won't be teaching you today, but I shall be covering in his place. I am a new substitute teacher in your school, so some of you you won't recognize me, but again, my name is Miss White, and I'll write it on the board for you. Miss White, W-H-I-T-E. Miss White. So today I thought it would be a lovely idea to start with a story. Mr. Shipman said that you all really enjoy story time, and he has left me a book to read to you today. He said that it was your favourite. Good. First, I would like to take the register just to make sure we have everybody here and everybody is accounted for. So I have my register here, and I know that, is it Bradley is unwell today? Yes, he has chicken pox. That's very sad. Have any of you had chicken pox before? A couple of you. Yes, I remember having them as a child. They were so itchy, weren't they? Okay, let's do the register. Do we have David? David. Excellent. Do we have Sophie? Good. Yes, just raise your hand when you hear your name, okay? Do we have Alex? Yes, thank you, Alex. Do we have Charlotte? Yes, thank you, Charlotte. Do we have Matthew? Matthew? Yes, don't be shy, Matthew. I won't bite. Do we have Donna? Yes, thank you, Donna. Do we have Simon? Simon, thank you. Do we have Robert? Robert, yes, thank you, Robert. Do we have Mary? Yes, Mary. Justin? Yes. Sasha? Yes. And Daniel? Daniel? Yes. And do we have Abigail? Abigail. Abby, sorry, Abby, not Abigail. Do we have Mark? Mark is here. And do we have Brooke? Brooke? Good. Thomas? Yes. Maisie? Michael? Yes. And Jennifer? Jennifer. Excellent. Great. Okay. So, apart from Bradley, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 students. And Bradley has chickenpox. Okay, so that is the register. Now, I want to just remind you all of classroom rules. Now, I know that Mr. Shipman said you are all very, very good students, but as I am a new teacher, I just want to make sure that we all know how to behave in school and in class. Okay? So here on the board you can see classroom rules, and classroom rules are very important. Okay? Because they teach us how to behave properly and how to behave with one another. Okay, so let's get the first one. So we put our hands up. Okay, so if you need the toilet or if you need anything, remember to raise your hand. Okay, it's no good and it's quite rude to shout out, especially when somebody else is talking or when the teacher is talking. So put your hand up and wait, and I will be with you as soon as I can. The next one is we listen carefully. So remember to listen to everything that I'm saying, and also when somebody else is speaking, remember to listen to them as well. It's polite not to talk over them, and it's polite to listen to them. And remember, if you're not listening, then you might not be able to answer a question that somebody may ask you. So it's important to listen carefully. The next one is we help tidy up. And this is important because it is good to make sure that your learning environment is nice and clean. If things are lying around on the floor and are in somebody's way, somebody could trip over them and they could hurt themselves. So it's very, very important to make sure that we all help tidy up. It's also important to remember it's good to help others tidy up too, which means that even though you may have not made the mess, it's important to be friendly and help your fellow students clean up their mess too. And same way on the other side, vice versa. Okay, so the next one is we work quietly. And although we have lessons in which we are loud, like drama or sports, when we are working hard on exams and questions, we need to work quietly. When you work quietly, it helps you concentrate better. Okay, so we work quietly. We sit nicely. So this is important, especially at story time. Okay, so when we are sitting nicely, we are concentrating and paying attention to what the teacher is saying, because there's no good being up and about and running around when somebody is trying to talk to you, because that ties in with listening carefully and working quietly as well. So sitting nicely and at story time, that is with your legs crossed and your hands in your laps, okay? Don't annoy anybody next to you, because as you know, this is a bully-free zone, so no bullies. And if you see somebody bullying another person, please come to me straight away and tell me. Being a bully is not a good thing, and a lot of people are too afraid to come and tell somebody about it because they are scared of that bully. But in this classroom, bullies are not tolerated, okay? So we have a bully-free zone. And the last one is we work and play together. So nobody is left out. Everybody has an equal opportunity and equal attention. And that means at work time and at play time as well. So that means if you see somebody alone in the playground and they haven't got anybody to play with, then go up to them and ask them if they want to play with you. It's not nice to feel by yourself, so go up to somebody who is on their own and ask them to play. Again, when we are working in the classroom, it's important to know if somebody is struggling. If you see somebody who is struggling, then see if they need help. There might be something that they are struggling with that you may know yourself, so you can help them and help them work. Okay? Excellent. So the next rules, and that will be it. We can get on with our story. Yes. Think. You see this word here? Think. So what does it stand for? So T. This is think before you speak. Okay, so this is very, very important. T. Is what you're saying true? H. Is it helpful? I. Is it inspiring or is it interesting? And N. Is it necessary? And K. Is it kind? So, if you have something to say to somebody, remember, is it true? So are you going to be spreading nasty things about someone which you don't really know yourself? What you could be saying could be a lie spread by somebody else. So you have to make sure that what you are saying is the truth, because you might get into trouble by saying something that isn't true. Is it helpful? So is what you're saying going to actually help that person? Or is it going to make them sad or upset? Always make sure that what you are saying is helpful to that person or to you. I. Is it inspiring or is it interesting? So many times people often talk a lot, but they actually are not saying anything interesting. So they might be talking about something that isn't very good or something quite boring that people don't really want to listen to. So just make sure that what you are talking about is inspiring to you and interesting enough to listen to. N. Is it necessary? So what this means is that if you are speaking about something and we may be talking about something quite sensitive, something quite like delicate topic, if you say something that is not very helpful to the situation, or it may cause upset for people, is it necessary that you say it? Okay, so just have to think. And the last one, the most important one, is it kind? So remember, we have a no bully zone. So before you speak, remember, is it going to make that person upset, or are you going to be saying something mean to somebody? So just remember, is what you're saying kind to that person, okay? Or is it kind overall? Good. Are you all okay with those? Excellent. So, everybody is sitting nicely. That's good. We sit nicely. And everybody is quiet. We work quietly. Good. So now is time to listen carefully at the story I'm about to tell you. So, the story that I will be reading you today is one that Mr. Shipperman left for me. And it is a story called Stella Luna. Yes, you all recognize it. He said that you had read this many, many, many times and it was your favorite. Good. So, Stella Luna by Janelle Cannon. And it was America's #1 bestseller. And as you can see on the front, it has a picture of Stella Luna, the bat. So, let's get started. Stella Luna. Has a little inscription here: to Burton H. Cannon and Nancy Cannon with love. Wow. See a picture here of a bat with a little tiny bat under her. In a warm and sultry forest far, far away, there once lived a mother fruit bat and her new baby. Oh, how Mother Bat loved her soft, tiny baby. I will name you Stella Luna, she crowed. Each night, Mother Bat would carry Stella Luna clutched to her breast as she flew out in search of food. One night, as Mother Bat followed the heavy scent of ripe fruit, an owl spied her. On silent wings, the powerful bird swooped down on the bats, as you can see there. Dodging and shrieking, Mother Bat tried to escape, but the owl struck again and again, knocking Stella Luna into the air. Her baby wings were as limp and useless as wet paper. Down, down she went, faster and faster into the forest below. The owl there. The dark, leafy tangle of branches caught Stella Luna as she fell. One twig was small enough for Stella Luna's tiny feet. Wrapping her wings about her, she clutched the thin branch, trembling with cold and fear. "Mother," Stella Luna squeaked, "where are you?" By daybreak, the baby bat could hold on no longer. Down, down again she dropped. Stella Luna on the branch. Flump! Stella Luna landed headfirst in a soft and downy nest, startling the 3 baby birds who lived there. Stella Luna quickly clambered from the nest and hung out of sight below it. She listened to the babble of the 3 birds. "What was that?" cried Flap. "I don't know, but it's hanging by its feet," chirped Flitter. "Shh! Here comes Mama," hissed Pip. And here are the little baby birds. Many, many times that day, Mama Bird flew away, always returning with food for her babies. Stella Luna was terribly hungry, but not for the crawly things Mama Bird brought. Finally, though, the little bat could bear it no longer. She climbed into the nest, closed her eyes, and opened her mouth. Plop! In dropped a big green grasshopper. Ew, look. Doesn't she look sweet? Little tiny sweet thing. Stella Luna learned to be like the birds. She stayed awake all night and slept. She stayed awake all day and slept at night. She ate bugs even though they tasted awful. Her bad ways were quickly disappearing, except for one thing. Stella Luna still liked to sleep hanging by her feet. Once, when Mama was away, the curious baby birds decided to try it too. When Mama Bird came home, she saw 8 tiny feet gripping the edge of the nest. "Eek!" she cried. "Get back up here this instant! You're going to fall and break your necks!" The birds clambered back into the nest, but Mama Bird stopped Stella Luna. "You're teaching my children to do bad things. I will not let you back into this nest unless you promise to obey all the rules of this house." Stella Luna promised. She ate bugs without making faces, she slept in the nest at night, and she didn't hang by her feet. Stella Luna behaved as a good bird should. And look at her sweet little face. Isn't she adorable? All the babies grew quickly. Soon the nest became crowded. Mama Bird told them it was time to learn to fly. One by one, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stella Luna jumped from the nest. Their wings worked. "I'm just like them," thought Stella Luna. "I can fly too." Pip, Flitter, and Flap landed gracefully on a branch. Stella Luna tried to do the same, but I don't think it worked out very well. How embarrassing! I will fly one day. I will fly all day, Stella Luna told herself. Then no one will see how clumsy I am. I'm very happy. The next day, Pip, Flitter, Flap and Stella Luna went flying far from home. They flew for hours, exercising their new wings. The sun is setting, warned Flitter. We had better go home, or we will get lost in the dark, said Flap. But Stella Luna had flown far ahead and was nowhere to be seen. The 3 anxious birds went home without her. All alone, Stella Luna flew and flew until her wings ached and she dropped into a tree. I promised not to hang by my feet, Stella Luna sighed. So she hung by her thumbs and soon fell asleep. She didn't hear the soft sounds of wings coming near. Hey! Hey! A loud voice said. Why are you hanging upside down? Stella Luna's eyes opened wide. She saw a most peculiar face. Ah, I'm not upside down. You are, Stella Luna said. Ah, but you're a bat. Bats hang by their feet. You are hanging by your thumbs. So that makes you upside down. The creature said, I'm a bat. I am hanging by my feet. That makes me right side up. Stella Luna was confused. Mama Bird told me I was upside down. She said I was wrong. Wrong for a bird, maybe, but not for a bat. More bats gathered around to see the strange young bat, who behaved like a bird. Stella Luna told them her story. You ate bugs, stuttered one. You slept at night, gasped another. How very strange, they all murmured. Wait, let me look at this child. A bat pushed through the crowd. An owl attacked you? She asked. Sniffing Stella Luna's fur, she whispered, You are Stella Luna. You are my baby. You escaped the owl? Cried Stella Luna. You survived? Yes, said Mother Bat as she wrapped her wings around Stella Luna. Come with me, and I'll show you where to find the most delicious fruit. You'll never have to eat another bug as long as you live. Reunited. But it's night time, Stella Luna squeaked. We can't fly in the dark. We will crash into trees. We're bats, said Mother Bat. We can see in darkness. Come with us. Stella Luna was afraid, but she let go of the tree and dropped into the deep blue sky. Stella Luna could see. She felt as though rays of light shone from her eyes. She was able to see everything in her path, as you can see. Soon the bats found a mango tree, and Stella Luna ate as much of the fruit as she could hold. I'll never eat another bug as long as I live, cheered Stella Luna as she stuffed herself full. I must tell Pip, Flitter and Flap. A big mango. The next day, Stella Luna went to visit the birds. Come with me and meet my bat family, said Stella Luna. Okay, let's go, agreed Pip. They hang by their feet and fly at night, and they eat the best food in the world, Stella Luna explained to the birds on the way. As the birds flew among the bats, Flap said, I feel upside down here. So the birds hung by their feet. Wait until dark, Stella Luna said excitedly. We will fly at night. When night came, Stella Luna flew away. Pip, Flitter and Flap leapt from the tree to follow her. "I can't see a thing," yelled Pip. "Neither can I," howled Flitter. "Ah!" shrieked Flap. "They're going to crash," gasped Stella Luna. "I must rescue them." Stella Luna swooped about, grabbing her friends in the air. She lifted them to a tree and the birds grasped a branch. Stella Luna hung from the limb above them. "We're safe," said Stella Luna. Then she sighed. "I wish you could see in the dark too." "We wish you could land on your feet," Flitter replied. Pip and Flap nodded. They perched in silence for a long time. "How can we be so different and feel so much alike?" mused Flitter. "And how can we feel so different and be so much alike?" wondered Pip. "I think this is quite a mystery," Flap chirped. "I agree," said Stella Luna, "but we are friends, and that's a fact." Okay, so that is the story of Stella Luna. And I think it's such a wonderful story because it tells you that it doesn't matter if you are different from one another. It's what's inside that counts. It doesn't matter what you look like or what you can do or what you can't do. As long as you are nice to each other and you are kind and you are friends, then that's all that matters. So, thank you very much for listening and paying attention. I hope that you enjoyed the story. So now we will go to our desks and chairs and we will start today's lesson. Okay?